Okay, welcome back. We are on day. Oh, geez, I'm just gonna let him go. He was wanting to hang out, but we are on. I forgot what day it was, but we're gonna be reading over Deuteronomy chapter 11, chapter 12, chapter 13, and chapter 14. And chapter 11 is going to be called Love and Obedience Rewarded, which is great. Chapter 12, A Prescribed Place of Worship. Number 13. Oh, and then also in chapter 12, he's gonna tell us about to beware of false gods. Chapter 13 is punishments of apostates. Okay, so that's good. And then chapter 14 is improper mourning and clean and unclean meat. Well, let's get started. Deuteronomy chapter 11. Therefore, you shall love the Lord your God and keep his charge, his statutes, his judgments, and his commandments always. Know today that I do not speak with your children who have not known, who have not seen the chastening of the Lord your God, his greatness and his mighty hand and his outstretched arms, his signs and his acts which he did in the midst of Egypt to Pharaoh king of Egypt and to all his land, what he did to the army of Egypt, to their horses and to their chariots, how he made the waters of the Red Sea overflow them as they pursued you, and how the Lord has destroyed them to this day. What he did for you in the wilderness until you came into this place, and what he did to Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, the sons of Reuben, how the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up, their households, their tent, and all the substance that was in their possession in the midst of all Israel. But your eyes have seen every great act of the Lord which he did. Therefore you shall keep every commandment which I command you today, that you may be strong and go in and possess the land which you cross over to possess, and that you may prolong your days in the land which the Lord swore to give you your fathers, to them and their descendants, a land flowing with milk and honey. For the land which you go and possess is not like the land of Egypt from which you have come, where you have sowed your seed and watered it by foot as a vegetable garden. But the land which you cross over to possess is a land of hills and valleys, which drinks water from the rain of heaven, a land for which the Lord your God cares. The eyes of the Lord your God are always on it from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And it shall be that if you earnestly obey my commandments, which I command you today, to love the Lord your God and serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, then I will give you the rain for your land and its seasons, the early rain and the latter rain, that you may gather in your grain, your new wine, and your oil. And I will send grass in your fields for your livestock, that you may eat and be filled. Take heed to yourselves, lest your heart be deceived, and you turn aside and serve your other gods and worship them. Lest the Lord's anger be aroused against you, and he shut up the heavens so that there is no rain, and the land yield no produce, and you perish quickly from the good land which the Lord is giving you. Therefore you shall lay up these words of mine in your heart and in your soul, and bind them as a sign in your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes, and you shall teach them to your children, speaking of them, and when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall write them on the doorposts of your houses and on your gates, that your days and the days of your children may be multiplied in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers to give them, like the days of the heavens above the earth. For if you carefully keep all these commandments which I command to you to do, to love the Lord your God, to walk in all its ways and hold fast to him, then the Lord will drive out all these nations from before you, and you shall dispossess greater and mightier nations than yourselves. Every place on which the sole of your feet treads on will be yours, from the wilderness of Lebanon, From the river Euphrates, even to the western sea shall be your territory. No man shall be able to stand against you. The Lord your God will put the dread of you and fear of you upon all the land where you tread, just as he said to you. Behold, I set before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing if you obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you today, and the curse if you do not obey the commandments of the Lord your God, but turn aside from which way I command you today, to go after gods which you have not known. Now it shall be that the Lord your God has brought you into the land which you go to possess, and ye shall put the blessing on Mount Gerizim and the curse on Mount Ebal. Are they not on the other side of the Jordan toward the setting sun in the land of the Canaanites who dwell in the plain opposite Gilgal, besides the terebinth trees of Moreh? For you will cross over the Jordan and go into possess the land which the Lord your God is giving you, and you will possess it and dwell in it. And you shall be careful to observe all the statutes and judgments which I set before you today. Deuteronomy chapter 12, a prescribed place of worship. Now these are the statutes and judgments which ye shall be careful to observe in the land of which the Lord of your fathers is giving you to possess. All the days that you live on earth, you shall utterly destroy all the places where the nations which you shall dispossess served their gods on the high mountains and on the hills and on under every green tree. And you shall destroy their altars, break their sacred pillars, burn their wooden images with fire, and you shall cut down the carved images of their gods and destroy their names from that place. You shall not worship the Lord your God with such things. You shall seek the place where the Lord your God chooses out of all your tribes to put his name for his dwelling place, and there you shall go. There you shall make your burnt offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes and heave offerings of your hand, your vowed offerings, your free will offerings, and your firstborn of the herds of flocks. And there you shall eat before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice, in which you have put your hand, you and your household, in which the Lord your God has blessed you. You shall not at all do as we are doing here today, every man doing whatever is right in his own eyes. For as yet you have not come to rest and the inheritance which the Lord your God is giving you. But when you cross over the Jordan and dwell in the land which the Lord your God is giving you to inherit, and he gives you rest from all your enemies and round about, so that you dwell in safety. Then there will be a place where the Lord your God chooses to make his name abide. There you will bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes, the heave offerings of your hand, and all your choice offerings which you vowed to the Lord. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, and you and your sons and your daughters, and your male and your female servants, and the Levite who is within your gates, since he has no portion nor inheritance with you. Take heed to yourself that you do not offer your burnt offerings in every place that you see, but in the place that the Lord chooses, in one of your tribes. There you shall offer your burnt offerings, and there you shall do all that I command you. However, you may slaughter and eat meat within all your gates, whatever your heart desires, according to the blessings of the Lord your God, which he have given you. The unclean and the clean may eat of it, of the gazelle and the deer alike. Only you shall not eat the blood. You shall pour it on the earth like water. You shall not eat within your gates the tithe of your grain, or your new wine, or your oil, or of the firstborn of your herd or your flock, of any of your offerings which you vow, your freewill offerings, or of heave offering of your hand. But you must eat them before the Lord your God in a place which your Lord chooses, you and your son, daughter, your male servant, and your female servant, and the Levite who is within your gates. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, in which all you put your hands. Take heed to yourself that you do not forsake the Levite as long as you live in your land. When the Lord your God enlarges your border as he promised you, and you say, let me eat meat because you long to eat meat, you may eat meat as much eat as your heart desires. If the place where the Lord your God chooses to put his name is too far from you, Then you may slaughter from the herd and from the flock which the Lord had given you, just as I have commanded you, and you may eat within your gates, as much as your heart desires. Just as the gazelle and the deer are eaten, so you may eat them. The unclean and the clean alike may eat them. Only be sure that you do not eat the blood, for the blood is the life. You may not eat the life of the meat. You shall not eat it. You shall pour it on the earth like water. You shall not eat it, and it may go well with you and your children after, when you do what is right in the sight of the Lord. Only the holy things in which you have and your vow to your offerings, and you shall take and go to places that the Lord chooses. And you shall offer your burnt offerings, the meat and the blood, on the altar of the Lord your God. And the blood of the sacrifices shall be poured on the altar of the Lord your God, and you shall eat the meat. Observe and obey all these words which I command you, that it may go well with you and your children after you forever, when you do what is good and right in the sight of the Lord. Beware of false gods. Verse 29, when the Lord your God cuts off before you the nations which you go and dispossess, and you displace them and dwell in their land, take heed to yourself that you are not ensnared to follow them after you are destroyed before from them, and you do not inquire after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? I also will do likewise. You shall not worship the Lord your God in that way, for every abomination to the Lord which he hates they have done to their gods. For they burn their sons and their daughters in the fires to their gods. Whatever I command you, be careful to observe it, and you shall not add to it nor take away from it. Wow. He does not want y'all to be taking notes from other people. I'll be right back. I need to grab a tissue. Excuse me. Every single time I read, I kind of get the sniffles. Okay, okay. Two more chapters. Chapter 13, punishment of the apostates. If there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and he gives you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder comes to pass of which he spoke to you, saying, let us go after gods which you have not known, and let us serve them. You shall not listen to the words of that prophet or that the dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God is testing you to know whether you love God or your God. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. You shall walk after the Lord your God and fear him and keep his commandments and obey his voice, and you shall serve him and hold fast to him. But that prophet or that dreamer that of dreams that shall be put to death, because he was spoken in order that you turn away from the Lord. Ooh, okay. Sorry. This is why I put my phone on silence, because work is already emailing me. You shall walk after the Lord your God and fear him and keep his commandments and obey his voice, and you shall serve him and hold fast. But that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken in order to turn you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you from the house of bondage, to entice you from the way in which the Lord your God commanded you to walk. So you shall put away the evil from your midst. If your brother, the son of your mother, or your son or your daughter, the wife of your bosom, or your friend that is in your own soul, secretly entices you, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which you have not known, neither you nor your fathers, of the gods of the people which are all around you, near to you or far from you, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. You shall not consent to him or listen to him, nor shall your eye pity him, nor shall you spare him or conceal him, but you shall surely kill him. Your hand shall be first against him, and put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all people. And you shall stone him with stones until he dies, because he sought to entice you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. So all of Israel shall hear and fear, and not again do such wickedness as this among you. If you hear someone in one of your cities, which the Lord your God gives you to dwell in, saying, corrupt men have gone out from among you and enticed the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other gods which you have not known. Then you shall inquire, search out, and ask diligently if it is indeed true and certain that such an abomination was committed among you. You shall surely strike the inhabitants of the city with the edge of the sword, utterly destroying it, all that is in it, and its livestock, and the edge of the sword. And you shall gather all its plunder into the middle of the street, and completely burn with fire the city and all its plunder, for the Lord your God. It shall be a heap forever. It shall not be built again. So none of the accursed things shall remain in the hand, that the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger and show you mercy, have compassion on you, and multiply you, just as he swore to your fathers. Because you have listened to the voice of the Lord your God, and keep all his commandments, which I command you today, to do what is right in the eyes of your Lord your God. Last chapter, chapter 14, in proper mourning. You are the children of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourselves, nor shave the front of your head for the dead. For you are a holy people to the Lord your God, and the Lord has chosen you to be a people for himself, a special treasure above all the peoples who are on the face of the earth. Clean and unclean meat. Verse 3. You shall not eat any detestable thing. These are the animals which you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roe deer, the wild goat, the mountain goat, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. And you may eat every animal with cloven hooves, having the hoof split in two parts, and that chews the curds among the animals. Nevertheless, of those who chew the cud or cloven hooves, ye shall not eat such as these: the camel, the hare, and the rock hyrax. For they chew the cud, but do not have cloven hooves. They are unclean for you. Also the swine is unclean for you, because it has cloven hooves, yet does not chew the cud. You shall not eat their flesh, or touch their dead carcasses. These you may eat of these you may eat of all that are in the waters. You may eat all that have fins and scales. But whatever does not have fins and scales you shall not eat. It is unclean for you. All clean birds you may eat, but these you shall not eat: the eagle, the vulture, the buzzard, the red kite, the falcon, the kite after their kinds, every raven of its kind, the ostrich, the short-eared owl, the seagull, the hawk after their kinds, the little owl, the screech owl, the white owl, the jackdaw, the carrion vulture, the fisher owl, the stork, the heron after its kind, and the hoopoe and the bat. Also every creeping thing that flies is unclean for you. They shall not be eaten. You may eat all clean birds. You shall not eat anything that dies of itself. You may give it to the alien who is within your gates, that he may eat it, or you may sell it to a foreigner. For you are a holy people to the Lord, and you shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. Okay, guys, that was the diet plan. Okay, make sure to mark that down. I guess there's a reason why he had to say all of that, because they were probably eating it all. And God's like, no, 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 no. These are they're not that good. Here's eat this. Okay. Don't be eating all that. Verse 22. You shall truly tithe all the increase of your grain, and the field produces year by year. And you shall eat before the Lord your God in a place where he chooses to make his name abide. The tithe of your grain, and your new wine, and your oil, and your firstborn of your herds and your flocks, that you may learn to fear the Lord your God always. But if the journey is too long for you, so that you are not able to carry the tithe, or if the place of the Lord God chooses to put your name is too far from you, when the Lord your God has blessed you, then you shall exchange it for money. Take the money in your hand and go to the place which the Lord your God chooses, and you shall spend that money for whatever your heart desires, for oxen or sheep, for wine or similar drink. For whatever your heart desires, you shall eat before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice, and you and your household. You shall not forsake the Levite who is within your gates, for he has no part nor inheritance with you. At the end of every third year, you shall bring out the tithes of your produce of that year and store it up within your gates. And the Levite, because he has no portion or inheritance with you, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow who are within your gates may come and eat and be satisfied, that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work in which your hand which you do. And that is the end of chapter 14. I'm very yeah, God is good, and God had to make, some standards for people back in the day. So, all right, you guys have a great, great day, and I will catch you up with our next chapters we're going to read is chapter 15, 16, 17, and 18. So that's going to be debts canceled every 7 years. Come on, come on. Generosity to the poor, the law concerning bondservants, the law concerning firstborn animals, Passover reviewed, the Feast of Weeks reviewed, the Feast of Tabernacles reviewed. Justice must be administered. Principles governing kings, portion of priests and Levites, the new prophet like Moses. Yep, that's what we're going to be reading next time. All right, we'll talk later.